शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. Now we will see the meanings of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama based on Sri Shankaracharya Bhashya for verse 91. First, we will see the verse. Bharabhrit kathito yogi yogishah sarvakamadah ashramah shramanah kshamah suparno vayuvahanah. The namas herein are Bharabhrit, Kathitaha, Yogi, Yogishah, Sarvakamadaha, Ashramaha, Shramanaha, Kshamaha, Suparnaha, Vayuvahanaha. So there are 10 namas herein. We will see the meanings of each of these one by one. The first nama is Bharabhrit. Anantarupena Bhuvo Bharam Bibhrat Bharabhrit. In the form of Ananta, the one who supports the load of earth. So in this nama, we have two components, Bhara and Bhrit. So Bibharti means the one who holds or the one who supports. What does he support? Bhara. Bhara is load. So the one who supports the load of what? Bhuvaha Bharam, the load of the earth. In what form? Ananta Rupena. Ananta refers to the Adishesha or the Sheshanaga. So we have seen in various previous namas that Bhagavan manifests even in the form of Adishesha or the Sheshanaga, and he supports the entire world, rests upon the 1,000 hoods of the Adishesha. So hence, in the form of Adishesha Amsha, Bhagavan is glorified as Bharabhrit, the one who supports, the one who carries the load of the entire earth. The second nama is Kathitaha. Vedadibhirayameva paratvena kathitaha sarva vedaihi kathitaha iti va kathitah. The one who is stated as the ultimate in the Vedas, etc., or the one who is stated by all the Vedas. So Kathitaha, simple meaning of the word Kathita is the one who is stated, the one about whom it has been spoken. So where has the glory or the greatness of the Bhagavan has been spoken? By which texts? Vedadibhihi, by Vedas, Vedangas, Itihasas, Puranas, all the 14 Vidyasthanas. So by all this literature, Ayameva Paratvena Kathitaha. Only Bhagavan Narayana has been stated as a Para, the ultimate or the great supreme entity. So hence he is Kathita, the one who has been stated, or Sarva Vedaihi Kathitaha iti va Kathitaha, or it is in the same sense. So by all the Vedas, without the exception of any of the Vedas, be it Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda or Atharva Veda, so the one who has been stated or about the one about whom it has been mentioned, so the one who has been glorified as a great divinity by all the Vedas, or the one who has been glorified by Vedas and all other literature, he is Kathita, the one who has been mentioned or stated. Now, where and all we can see the mentions about Bhagavan Narayana, Acharya here presents a host of references where the Vedic literature glorifies Bhagavan Narayana and other allied literature also. Sarve Veda Yat Padamamananti. So this is from Kathopanishad. Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyah. This is from Bhagavad Gita. Vede Ramayane Punye Bharate Bharatarshabha. Adau Madhye Tatha Chante Vishnuhu Sarvatra Giyate. So it is Vishnu who has been glorified in the Upanishads, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Mahabharata, and again we see in Kathopanishad also, again it's a repetition where we see Bhagavan is glorified, not merely glorified, but glorified as the ultimate. Sodhvanah paramapnoti tad Vishnu paramam padam. So Bhagavan is not merely mentioned in this all these literature like Vedas, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, etc. But he is also glorified as the Parama, the ultimate also. Now, another related idea is expressed by Acharya. Kim tad adhvanaha Vishnoho vyapanashilasya paramam padam satatvam ityakankshayam indriyadibhyaha sarvebhyaha paratvena pratipadyate. Indriyebhyah parahyarthaha ityarabhya purushanna parankinchit sakashtha saparagatihi ityantena yaha kathitaha saha kathitaha. What is the higher state of all pervasive Vishnu who is said to be attained at the end of the journey, being beyond the grasp of the senses, etc. So here Acharya clarifies, previously the last quotation was given as Advanaha paramapnoti tad Vishnoho paramam padam. So the last quotation we saw. So the one who understands or realizes Bhagavan Vishnu, Advanaha paramapnoti, crosses or traverses or travels the entire path and crosses it ultimately and reaches the state or feet of Bhagavan Vishnu. Now, what is stated as the Parampadam? What is the great state or the great destination of Bhagavan Vishnu? So the question is raised by Acharya himself about the Paratva of the greatness that has been stated of Bhagavan Vishnu in the texts. And Acharya clarifies, Indriyadibhyaha sarvebhyaha paratvena. So the Bhagavan Vishnu's great state or the higher state is to be understood as that state which is higher or beyond the Indriyas, etc. So that's why Acharya quotes, brings in Indriyebhyaha parahi arthaha. So ityarabhya purushanna parankinchit. So there the entire gamut or the entire spectrum of higher and higher states are presented, where the Indriyas are stated as greater and beyond Indriyas are the arthas or the objects of senses. Arthebhyascha paramanaha, higher than the objects is the mind, manas. Manasastu parabuddhihi, beyond the manas or greater than the manas is buddhi. Buddheratma mahan paraha, beyond or higher than the buddhi there is the mahattattva. Mahatah paramavyaktam, beyond the mahattattva is avyakta, the prakriti or pradhana. Avyaktat purushah paraha, and beyond that prakriti and pradhana, which is the material cause of the universe, what is higher? Purushaha. Avyaktat purushaha paraha. Then what lies beyond or what is higher than the purusha? To that the verse clarifies, Purushat na param kinchit. There is nothing higher to Purusha. What is Purusha? Purusha refers to the pure consciousness, the Satchidananda Swarupa. Purushat na param kinchit. There is nothing higher than the Purusha, the Shuddha Chaitanya, which is what is Bhagavan Narayana is. Sa kashtha, so that is the limit. Sa paragatihi, that is the ultimate destination or abode to be reached. So, being higher and higher and higher than senses, objects of senses, mind, intellect, mahat, pradhana, and being the pure consciousness, that is the paratva, or that is the highest state of Bhagavan Vishnu, Bhagavan Narayana, who is none other than Satchidananda Parabrahman, which has been kathita, which has been stated. So the nama kathita indicates not only that Bhagavan Narayana has been glorified or mentioned in Vedas and all allied literature, but he is also stated as the ultimate entity, as Satchidananda Shuddha Chaitanya. So this has been clarified by Acharya through this Nama, explanation to this Nama, Kathita. The next Nama is Yogi. There are a couple of interpretations here. First one is Yogo Jnanam Tenaiva Gamyatvat Yogi. Yoga is knowledge, the one who is attained by knowledge. So here in the first interpretation, Acharya says that the word yoga refers to knowledge, jnana. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the pure consciousness, which has been just mentioned, which has been discussed in the previous Nama, the Satchidananda Swarupa. The knowledge that Paramatman or the Shuddha Chaitanya is the ultimate. So that is the knowledge which is indicated by the word yoga. Tenaiva gamyatvat. So by knowing, by the Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana of that knowledge, the one who is known is Yogi. So that is the first interpretation to the term Yogi. The second one is Yogaha Samadhihi Sahi Swatmani Sarvada Samadhatte Swatmanam Tenava Yogi. Yoga is Samadhi, the one who always establishes his mind in his self. Hence, he is yogi. In the second interpretation, we see yoga is samadhi. So, yuja samadhau is the root. So, from that, yoga is stated as samadhi. Samadhi means samyak adhiyate chittam yasmin. So, the act or the process in which the mind is firmly established. So that is samadhi. So where does Paramatman establish his mind firmly? Swatmani, Swatmanam samadhatte. Swatmani, in his own self. What is the nature of his self? Satchidananda Swarupa, pure consciousness. That is Swatmani. Swatmanam. So Swatmanam here refers to the mind. So the one who establishes Swatmanam, his own mind, where Swatmani, in his own self, in his own Satchidananda Swarupa. When does he do it? Sarvada, always. He is always established, or he always channelizes his mind on his own pure Satchidananda Swarupa. And this is yoga, and being endowed with this yoga, which is nothing other than samadhi, being endowed with such yoga, he is yogi. So previously yoga was knowledge. The one who is attained through knowledge of Satchidananda Swarupa is yogi. In the second state, we see the one who is in the state of yoga samadhi always. The next nama is Yogi Shaha. Anye yoginaha yogantarayehi hanyante swarupat pramadhyante ayantu tadrahitatvat tesham ishaha yogi shaha. Other yogins are harmed by the obstacles in the path of yoga and lose focus on their self. The Lord being bereft of those obstacles is the Lord of the yogins. So Yogisha has two components, Yogi and Isha. Yogi means the practitioners of yoga, and Isha the Lord. So the Lord of all the yogins. So how is the Bhagavan the Lord of all the yogins? Acharya clarifies that other yogins are harmed, afflicted by the yogantarayas, obstacles in the path of yoga. Sage Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras mentions 9 obstacles: Vyadhi, Sthana, Samshaya, Pramada, Alasya, Avirati, Bhranti Darshana, Alabdha Bhumikatva, Anavasthitatva. So these are the 9 antarayas, which include disease or illness, and then lethargy, doubt, and so many such obstacles. And other yogins, the normal yogins, are afflicted, harmed by these obstacles, and so their mind is deflected, distracted in their pursuit of yoga, and so they lose focus on their true nature now and then. Hence their yogic state is intermittent, whereas for the Paramatman Bhagavan Narayana, there are no antarayas like Vyadhi, Sthana, Samshaya, etc. And hence, as mentioned earlier, he is always established in his pure Satchidananda Swarupa, and hence he is easily the best or the Lord or the King among the yogins. Whereas other yogins are established in their yogic state, but they get deflected and distracted by the antarayas, whereas Paramatman always, incessantly, continuously is established in his pure Satchidananda state, yogic state, Samadhi, and hence he is Yogisha. The fifth nama is Sarva Kamadaha. Sarvan Kaman Sada Dadatiti Sarva Kamadaha. The one who always grants all desires. So Sarva, Kama, the are the 3 components. Sarva is all, Kama is desires, and the one who gives. So the one who grants all desires. So Sarvan Kaman Sada Dadati. So Bhagavan is ever ready to grant all the desires of all kinds of devotees. So to this, Acharya brings in a quotation from the Brahma Sutra, Phalam ata upapattehe. So it is beyond doubt that all the benefits, all the desires are granted by Bhagavan Narayana. So hence he is glorified as Sarvakamada. The 6th nama is Ashramaha. Ashramavat sarvesham samsararanye bhramatam vishramasthanatvat ashramaha. Like a hermitage, the one who is the place of rest for those who are wandering in the forest of worldly life. So ashramaha generally means hermitage. Ashramaha is also used to indicate a place where people take rest or they relax. So here Acharya clarifies that samsara aranye brahmatam, the worldly life is like a dense forest infested with so many kinds of beings, and many get lost in that forest. So brahmatam, those who wander hither and thither in that forest of samsara, as in olden times people they lose their path, lose track of their path in forest, but they somehow find a hermitage of a sage and they feel reassured. Similarly, for those who have lost their path in the worldly transactions and the afflictions that is generated by the worldly life, the nama, the rupa, the devotion to Bhagavan Narayana. So that is like the Vishramasthana, the place where one attains repose, the place where one attains happiness, the place where one attains relaxation. So the taking of the Nama of Bhagavan Narayana, studying about the Leelas of Bhagavan Narayana, meditating about the Rupa of Bhagavan Narayana. So that is like an ashrama that gives rest and respite and relaxation from the hustle and bustle and the afflictions associated with the worldly transaction and worldly life. And hence Bhagavan Narayana is glorified as Ashramaha. The next nama is Shramanaha. Avivekinah sarvan santapayati iti Shramanaha. The one who torments those who are bereft of discrimination. So Acharya says that Shramanaha santapayati iti Shramanaha. So the one who torments is Shramana. Who are tormented? Sarvan avivekinaha. All those who are bereft of Viveka are tormented by Bhagavan Narayana because they are bereft of Viveka. What is Viveka here? Viveka is understanding that I am Shuddha Satchidananda Swarupa and I am not mere body mind complex. So this is the Viveka, and also understanding that my ultimate abode is the feet of Bhagavan Narayana, Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. That is what is the ultimate destination. So this is Viveka. This is the form of Viveka, the one who is bereft of such Viveka and is immersed in worldly transaction and body mind senses complex identification of self alone. They are Vivekis and they are tormented by Bhagavan, and hence he is a Shramanaha. The next nama is Kshamaha. Kshamaha, Kshinaha, Sarvaha Prajaha Karoti iti Kshamaha. The one who weakens all the beings. So Kshamaha is Kshinata. Kshinata is getting weakened. Yes. So the entire process of creation, growing, aging and weakening, and finally death, and again birth, and the entire process. So all this is managed, all this is governed, all this is regulated by Bhagavan alone. And hence, so including weakening of the beings, including the birth, including the growth, including the weakening, and ultimately including to the death, all these stages of life are but happening through the grace of or through the will of the Bhagavan alone. And hence he is the one who gives energy and he is the one who weakens. So in Sanskrita there is a saying, Tena vina trunamapi na chalati. So without him, without his will, even a blade of grass even will not move. The same story is presented in Kenopanishad also, where mere material things cannot evolve or transform themselves without the infusion of consciousness within. That's why Agni, Vayu, Indra, all of them, they consider their outer self as the self, but the Yaksha, Parabrahman, the pure consciousness, is placing a blade of grass before them and wanting them to move by their mere outer self, without the pure consciousness, they are unable to move. So even a small blade of grass. So everything that happens in this world, both positive and negative, is happening by the will of Bhagavan Narayana only. So as growing and getting energized, getting prosperity is happening, that is also Bhagavat Prasada. Similarly, decaying, weakening and death is also another kind of Bhagavat Prasada only. So life has to be seen as Bhagavat Prasada only, whether it is Labha or Nashta. So only then a state of equanimity can be achieved by those who are desirous to attain the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. Hence he is described as Kshamaha. And also, only when there is a Kshama, people, or when there is weakening, disease, illness, only then people tend to turn towards Bhagavan Narayana. So that's why Kunti, even in the Bhagavata Purana, says, Vipadaha santu naha shashvat tatra tatra jagatpate. Let us attain suffering and calamities at various stages of life, so that we turn to you, O Lord. So in the same way, let us get weakened, so that at least by that we turn towards Bhagavan Narayana. Let Bhagavat Smarana come to us at least in that path. So that is the attitude of our great glorious people of the past. So he is described as Kshamaha. The ninth nama is Suparnaha. Shobhanani Parnani Chandamsi Samsara Taru Rupinaha Asyeti Suparnaha. The one who is in the form of the tree of this world, being endowed with the leaves of the Vedas. Suparna refers to the Shobhana Parna, the beautiful leaves. So who possesses leaves, or where do we find the leaves? The leaves are there in the tree. Normally we find the leaves in the tree. So which tree is referred to here? Samsara Vriksha, Samsara Taru. So the worldly tree is mentioned here, and to that tree of the world, which is nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan, what are the leaves? The leaves are Chandamsi, the Vedas. So Bhagavan has manifested as the worldly tree. Urdhvamulam adhashakham ashwatham. So the great Ashwatha tree, as the great Ashwatha tree, or the worldly tree, the tree of the world, Bhagavan has manifested. And what are the leaves of that tree? The leaves are the Vedas. So as a tree, it looks beautiful, complete, only with the leaves. Similarly, worldly life becomes beautiful, complete, purposeful and meaningful only when it is guided by the Vedas. So Bhagavan, who has manifested as the Samsara Vriksha with the Vedas as the leaves, he is Suparna. So the quotation from the Bhagavad Gita, we see the 15th chapter, Chandamsi yasya parnani iti Bhagavad Vachanat. Acharya brings in the quotation to clarify this meaning Suparna, this meaning of this nama Suparna. The 10th nama is Vayu Vahanaha. Vayur Vahati Yadbhitya Bhutaniti Sa Vayu Vahanaha. The one by the fear of whom the wind carries beings. So Vayu, Vahana are the two components here. Vayu, the wind, Vahana means the one who carries. So the wind blows and carries all the beings and things from one place to the other in this world. By the fear of whom? Fearing whom? So we see that Bhishasmad Vatah Pavate in Taittiriya Upanishad. So it is out of fear of the Paramatman, the higher authority, the supreme authority, the Almighty, that the wind performs its duty of carrying people from one place to other, carrying things to one place to another in this world. So not only the wind, Bhishasmad Vatah Pavate, Bhisha Udeti Suryaha. The wind blows, does its duty of carrying for the fear of the Paramatman. The sun rises because of the fear of the Paramatman. Indra, Agni also perform or established or in their respective duties because they are afraid of the higher authority and power of the Paramatman. So, being the supreme authority, the one who establishes order not only among the lower beings but even in the higher divine entities like Vayu, Agni, Indra, and Aditya. So, Bhagavan, an aspect of it is glorified through this Nama, being the higher authority or the supreme authority of divine entity like Vayu, and hence he is glorified as Vayu Vahanaha. Thus, with these 10 namas in verse 91, we have thus far seen 856 namas. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu.